Take two.
All right, take two. Check the streams.
Mabuntag, may hapon, good evening, wherever you are in the world.
All right, I'm not sure this is on. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I think. I don't know.
I don't see it. Okay.
Yeah, we're both checking our phones.
Okay.
Okay. For some reason, scheduling the live stream in advance, one of the settings for where the microphone comes in changes. And I don't see how to change that default. So we're gonna have to figure that one out, or go back to using the streaming software that I had before,
Yeah.
which actually does work, and I can control all that crap on the fly. That somebody wasn't feeling terribly well an hour ago.
The internet there is on. See.
No, unfortunately, that was a user error. So I found the setting from the other day's episode,
Yeah.
and now I know where I need to change it. But I assumed I could change it when I scheduled it and not have to worry about it. And it seems that no, that's not the case.
Thank you for joining us today, Brandon.
But yes, definitely
As
thank you for
always.
joining us. That you are unquestionably probably one of our most loyal, if not the most loyal subscriber we have. That somebody wasn't feeling up to snuff yesterday when or about an hour ago when I put up the thumbnail for the original one. And she admits she probably isn't going to stick around for all of this one.
Okay. I guess I'm like, I'll stick here. Sit down here.
But yeah,
Mood swing.
the pregnancy is definitely getting to her.
Emotions.
The emotions, the hormones, all that stuff is definitely taking a toll on her and indirectly on me.
I'm blaming you.
Yes. Life is unquestionably my fault at this point. If you have any doubts about that, just ask her. She will explain it to you rather venomously. But we are finally getting settled in. Mama Papa went back to Sabunga for a few days.
Yeah, they're coming here at least 3-4 days and then go back to Bona from time to time because they need to clean and everything. Let her get used to it. But small price to pay for an amazing life.
It is in the long run, but in the moment, it's a really steep price to pay. It does sometimes get difficult.
It is difficult.
Yes, very badly so. Yesterday was kind of an example of that. We had a rather intense discussion in front of Mama Papa. Apologies needed to go all the way around on that one. But and it's just life. And Papa seems to understand it. Mama seems to kind of understand.
Yeah.
And that Mama has 4 kids, so she's been through this more than once. She definitely been there, got to teach her. And so she understands and appreciates what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just get headaches. I need to drink a lot more. I don't know. It's just all the body is just my body parts. Just I feel like the changes and everything. You know. Just,
Without question, it is, and it is. It's mind-numbingly hard for you.
yeah.
And it's not something you've ever experienced.
No. Even you say, "Are you prepared for it?" No. There's no like guideline.
That although there's 10 million books written about it, there's no real owner's manual for pregnancy.
That's just the mindset, though. It's hard sometimes to fight that, you know, to tell yourself, I am the most positive people in the world, but sometimes I get so down.
I can get that. I have experienced that.
Frustration easily. Just now forget the love and ask yourself, is there anything I will do for myself? So John, do it. I like that. Thank you, Brendan.
That also goes two ways.
Right now, I'll blame you.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured that one. I got big shoulders.
That's good. I get small.
I know. And I take that into account.
Aw.
I'm sorry to hear that Philippine experience. That
Oh, there's a sad news. You're not supposed to today, that John.
we had a last minute addition.
Yeah. You're not supposed to today, that John.
Say that, John.
Yeah. Well, my friend from Chicago supposedly to fly like last night or yesterday, but the airline told them that Cebu International Airport left down or are not allowing international flights. So they're like four because they're all Cebuana. They're like neighbors,
Right.
relatives. And now they're so frustrated because last minute the airlines call them like, oh, the flight is canceled because Cebu just, and they're like,
Cebu's opening up.
I know for all the days. That's just I don't know.
I haven't heard anything about that, and we
No,
live here.
it was just in the Facebook. It just maybe one instant. I don't know because I saw her post and said, "You sure about that?" I know it's opening. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. Our airlines, like they're four passengers. They're all relatives.
Wow.
They get married in America, foreign U.S. But they want to go home. Here they're supposed to go home last October, and they got moved. Supposed to fly January, and they waited, and now it's May, and it got canceled again, and
Wow.
they're so frustrated because they have a 1 year old or a 2 years old. So,
Wow.
anyway, but all of them already have a vaccine, COVID vaccine.
Oh, okay.
Just in case with the quarantine and everything.
Yeah, that might help shorten the quarantine for them too. That they may not be required to as long.
Yeah, because my brother Kuya already had first dose of Pfizer.
Right.
But anyways, go
Are they
back.
letting him come back?
It depends on the agency or with their.
Yeah, because last you said the agency wasn't letting him come back.
Yeah. That's my boss. Just trying to follow up with what I think like I feel like it's sketchy, so I might not pursue that.
Yeah, she's
They're
getting
saying-
texts too.
There's like red flags about the job. I'm like, no, you're asking my credit card? That's all I know. I'll stop.
Oh, that one you talked with?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So I'll stop this. I'm like, nope, this is not like, this is, yeah,
And that, what she's talking about is,
not work.
she had another Upworks offer. And right after you started, when you were still in Samoa, you had one like this.
Yeah,
The offer was way too good to be true.
yeah.
And it turned out it was way too good to
Way
be
too
true.
good to be true.
And there was another one, and it was maybe not way too good to be true, but kind of too good to be true.
Yeah.
And it seems that it's turning out to be too
Too
good
good
to
to
be
be true.
You need to let Upworks know that
Yeah.
what they're doing.
I need to report that right now. Well, I'm logging in my computer after this.
That if you want, you start logging in now, just diggy back and forth.
See,
You guys won't mind if she does that, will you? Upworks is a really cool thing for her, and for anybody that has those kind of skills. I haven't got those kind of skills. It's really hard to remotely operate a trowel, finishing concrete, or shovel digging a ditch, and that's all I'm really qualified to do. So, but sadly, even Upworks has some,
Yeah, some scam.
yeah, some people that are trying to scam stuff, and it happens. But overall, it makes a really cool thing that she's had some amazing success with them. She's had some amazing job situations and offers with them.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey, Mr. Daniel Ford, how you doing today? You're good.
Yeah,
You're okay. Okay, I know where. Okay,
Marlboro.
she's my address book.
Silly.
Back in the day, I used to carry an address book, and I'd have people's names and stuff like that. A lot of times, I'd have the little thumbnail picture. Oh, cool! Thank you.
I'm driving.
I actually have a cheat sheet of the common subscribers so that I can go back
You said
and double check all
you
this.
all keep forgetting, little John. Don't do that.
I have a horrible memory for stuff like that, and my apologies about that.
It's like every day is like it's like 50 dates. No, remember that movie? Like every day is a new day.
Oh yeah. Back before the internet and all this good stuff, I used to carry around a little black book, but instead of girls' numbers, I had information about people I knew that I was going to come in contact frequently, and it was just the way that I had to deal with it. I have carried on conversations with people that knew me and knew a bunch about me, and I know that I had to have known, but no freaking clue how, during the conversation on who they were or how I knew them or anything else. It can get embarrassing, but I've actually gotten really good at it. That actually, in my case, that I found they have an app for that. My notebook is just went high tech, and that way I can actually include pictures in contacts. You can include the picture, the person's picture or a picture of them if you got it. And there's a section in there you can take notes, and I do. I've got extensive notes on different people that I have. And anymore, if they don't have an app for it, you can give somebody $50 and they'll make you an app. Go to Fiverr.com, and they actually do that. They have sections in there that they've got for real simple apps to like take notes and stuff like that in a specific format. For $5 to $50, you can have somebody custom make you an app. There's actually a website you can go to that does that. That for real simple apps, you can actually custom design your own. I did that. Cindy and I were both chaplains at our church for a long time. And one of the things we had to report in what we were doing. And I was horrible with stuff like that. And I've got that 30-second memory, the squirrel thing. And I would constantly forget about stuff that I was doing. And a lot of what I did that was chaplain related was just part of who I am and what I do daily. And the pastor that led all the chaplains, that he emphasized that we really need that. And so I did. I found a website. I really wanted to do something that I could share with the other chaplains, but I couldn't find a way to do it simply. And I had a little drop-down menu of the 5-6 different things, categories of things that you'd be doing, hospital visits, hospice visit, that type of stuff. and would have that come down in a section for notes, and it automatically included the date and time when you entered it. So I had all that. All I had to do was just open it up, click that one button to give the category, and then give myself some notes on what I did.
Yeah.
And then on the first of every month, it would report everything for the last 30 days or 31 days, for the last month. So yeah, and that was actually out of a free website. So even if there isn't an app for that, you can make one. That's I tease people, if I ever lose my phone, my life is gone. I have no idea what I'm doing, where I've been. I don't know phone numbers anymore. So yeah, coming to the Philippines, it's, I don't want to say low tech because they're not truly low tech.
They're beginning to.
They're beginning to get a lot more, but they're tech deficient, I guess.
Tech efficient.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to describe that.
Oh.
But yeah, the tech here, it isn't quite up to snuff, and a lot of times things don't work quite right or quite as well as you would expect them to.
There are few, I would say, 1, 2, or maybe 10%.
And that's kind of one of those things where tech is definitely a double-edged sword, because it is amazing and it does help with a lot of things. But you're right that most Western countries, in my opinion, in my humble opinion only, have gotten to be too tech dependent to where the interpersonal relationship is being lost or in some cases all but completely gone. That it, and you're seeing it a lot here now, even to where you'll have 5 people, they'll be taking individual selfies, sitting at a table, sharing a meal together, and the interpersonal interaction just isn't there anymore. And that was kind of one of the cool things too here, is you still have that, but that's nowhere near as common as it is back in most of the Western countries that I've been to.
Yeah.
Here it's more the anomaly than the average. There it's more the average than the anomaly. Yeah, you ain't lying on that one. You definitely ain't lying on that one. Here's a phrase of the day. Niingum taka. That it's Filipino for you, or Visayan for you. You could say that again. Sinabi mo pa?
Sinabi mo pa.
Sinabi mo pa is Tagalog for the same thing. That it's like I say, tech is a huge double-edged sword. It is an amazing help, but it's way easy to become overly dependent on. You're right. This chair is about the perfect height for that as a foot.
I told you.
I'm sorry. There was another squirrel under the table. The top box for my motorcycle, that I take it off and bring it inside, and the best place to keep it is just right under the table. She uses it as a footstool. Today I got her chair because she wasn't going to be here,
Yeah.
and I've got a few things to do afterwards, and so it happened to be here without thinking. I kicked my feet up on it, and she's right. This chair's at the perfect height. That does make a great footstool.
I know.
I keep teasing people, and Cindy in particular, that my memory is a lot like her. Really good, but a tad bit short.
Yes.
Did you get up and settled?
I'm just gonna go sleep.
That's you got to share about your job.
If you can share.
Well, come over here and share.
Don't ask me. Yeah, you can ask.
That she's actually got one of the Upworks short-term project that you're saying is going to be about a week.
Oh, sorry. I can move you. Oh, careful. Oh, see, I can put my feet now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry for the distraction.
Oh, no. That and that's part of what these live streams are, is that they're us real. And it's kind of like carrying on a conversation with us. What you see here is probably what you get if you were sitting in front of us.
Yes. Okay. I don't want to yawn. Wow, the Philippine experience. That's why I have a home with 3 acres completely off-grid. Wow.
Yeah, that would be way cool to have. That would be way cool to have, especially back in the U.S. And you and I need to sit down over a beer when you get here. That I've got a lot more thoughts on that, but this channel is not the appropriate place for those kind of things. YouTube is not the appropriate place for those kind of discussions, unfortunately, anymore. But yeah, Cindy's got a. Oh yeah, you do. You sometimes have to apologize on your own channel. That you get to know us terribly well. You'll realize that one.
The Philippines is, I love it. Electricity by solar, water by 2 wheels, and rainwater harvesting. Wow.
Very cool. That
Cool.
when we make it back to the States, you'll have to show us that.
Yeah.
That but right now you got that project coming up, and that's part of what she was doing over there, is checking in on that.
Yeah.
And it's about a week's worth of work.
Actually, that's supposedly a month for like 5 hours a week.
Right. That saying a week's work is kind of confusing, and it confused me too. I thought she meant like a 40-hour week,
Yeah.
but you're saying about 20, 30 hours, somewhere in that ballpark. And you get sure what you're getting paid.
I don't mind. It's so funny. I asked for 25.
Yeah, she's getting 25 an hour for doing it, and so it's going to be about
50
750 to do that, and it's
for
just
the
a
entire
one-off thing.
project. Yeah.
And you're getting paid hourly or project.
By the project. Supposedly, because they asked me before, and supposedly $15 per hour, and I said I can finish in 1 week, and then this is my rate for the entire project. So they agreed. Because I could spend 20 hours doing it and finishing it in 1 week instead of they pay me. It's just
Paying you and having them drag it out.
yeah.
But yeah, because that's the only thing, is you will have to let them know. You need to let me have everything
Yeah, because
at one time.
right now I
done.
have the other one, and then they're missing. So it's just-
Oh, I hadn't heard that. Yeah, that'll kind of screw up a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know a guy here, Mark Shoemaker. I think that's actually his channel name too.
RPG.
Mark.
What do you
No,
were?
say the name. That's true.
Marky Shumate, Sumate.
Okay.
You always include the last name to the first name. Dang, you will be get angry with you that you murdered it.
That the way things are changing, it might be. I don't know. But yeah, that he's going through some issues trying to get a 13A here. And a little bit of it is just the, I know people have done it on different islands, so I'm not sure if they can do it at the local Bureau of Immigration entirely, or if they have to come to Cebu.
No, I don't know if they need to go to Manila. Oh no, they could go on the local immigration there.
When I did mine, but I did it in the US, that I had to finalize it here, but I could finalize it at any Bureau of Immigration.
But you need to go stop by in a Bureau of Quarantine to give all your medical.
Right, but
physical.
they've got an office here in Cebu.
No, they have office. Oh yeah, Bureau of Quarantine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do they have them all over, or just in a handful of key locations? Or don't you know for sure?
I don't know, but they should have in the big cities.
So would Dumaguete have them?
Yeah, they should have.
Okay. And I'm not entirely sure why he hasn't investigated Dumaguete more. Or maybe he has, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's an immigration service here that handles a lot of that paperwork. And here in Cebu City that can get you through a lot of that and knows the people to go to get things done. That it's a legit agency. It's not a fixer.
Yeah.
You know, it's not somebody that's going to go backdoor stuff, but it's somebody that knows all the right doors to go to. And yeah, that I've encouraged him to contact that guy. And with the way things are changing and so quickly, that's what this guy does. He keeps on top of that stuff, not only for U.S. and others, but all the countries. So that's his job. That's what he does.
Yeah.
As far as not being able to apply out of country, I hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise
That's what
me.
I read this week. Wow.
And like I said, that could be something that changed last minute. That that it just hasn't been terribly well publicized yet. You've come across information a little bit more than I do, but
I'm going to use GRC consultancy. That's the one that Rod advertised.
I think that's the one Rod advertised. That Rod works through
in the YouTube.
on
Let me see.
Amazing Philippines, and that's the guy that I'm trying to convince is Mark Shoemake.
Yeah, GRC.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's who I'm trying to convince Mark to use. Generally, I'm not in favor of using services.
But if you if it's a bit private, yeah, I would say if you're here in the Philippines, rather use.
It's almost worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it because like we did for registration, it's worth it to just go in the.
Well, and we kind of got messed over on that one too because we paid them in advance. And I swore up and down my motorcycle's registration was for 3 years. And they assured me that no, that there's only two, or only one, that there is no such thing as a 3-year.
Yeah, they said they have.
And I went back to the dealership and I said, no, but it's a 3-year registration.
Yeah. They said they have an office in Malabon. That's good.
Oh, very cool. I didn't know that. I'm not even sure Rod knows that. He might.
It might be included in the video. You need to watch
it. The blank look means I'm trying to the brain's operating and everything else has to stop. Memory overload, buffer errors. But I kind of think I remember him saying something about them having an office somewhere. And so I was thinking they said they had an office on Bohol, but it may have been Moab.
Yeah.
The Rod Butcher's Moab pronunciation. Badly enough, I may have misunderstood where he was saying. But yeah, that actually may work out a little bit better for Mark.
Yeah.
But his big thing is he needs to get a medical done. And I guess here that there's only
Doctors.
certain doctors, certain places you can get those medicals done.
Yeah.
But again, with Silliman University Medical Center there, I think that there would be a doctor there. Yeah, I'm getting notices on my computer too. That definitely little squirrels. That there would be doctors at Silliman that would be able to be correctly qualified, certified, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. And it's just one of those things we'll just have to wait and see and see which way he jumps on that one.
Being with voice that he does. Butcher the.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're silly.
I have a real hard time hearing what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But when I was in high school, I had a chorus teacher that realized that, and she actually took it from a backwards approach, and that her tone, pitch, and all that good garbage was good enough that she was able to get people to copy what I did so I could hear what I was saying from outside. And it helped me a lot with understanding that. And that I've got some auditory issues called auditory processing disorder that causes a lot of the issues that I deal with. And I came up, I grew up at a time where it really wasn't, 88, all that stuff wasn't in effect and all that good rot. And so I never got the accommodations I needed for it. And so I was one that was just kind of left to stumble and figure it out yourself. And fortunately, I had some really good people in my life that was able to do that. One of the biggest things that helped me, and this was kind of amazing and a huge godsend for me, is I was an adaptive reader, a spontaneous reader. Hyperlexic is another way to describe it.
I get an excuse.
Yeah, Cindy's gonna have to.
It's going to be about 39,000 for the probation and other classes to get plus the price for the ACE grant.
Wow.
Hey, you get an excuse, Saul?
Yeah, Cindy is gonna have to make her excuses and
Thank you. Gotta walk slow, sorry.
no worries.
Cover me up. Love you.
Love you much, baby girl. Thank you. That is kind of pricey. And that was the one huge advantage I had is that when they were issuing them out of country, that they were permanent from the get-go. That I got a permanent card immediately. I didn't have to go through the 1-year probation thing. So that saved a little bit of hassle and paperwork, but it wasn't terribly complicated. Up until this point, they weren't terribly difficult. And I kind of would have discouraged using a service because they weren't terribly hard. But with everything going on, with as rapidly as things are changing, it's in your best interest to use a service, not a fixer, but a service currently, because that's what they do. They keep on top of that stuff. And yeah, this is a situation of who knew, but we got ours a little bit earlier. I got mine a little bit earlier than we planned on. not really that we planned on, but things didn't work out quite the way we figured. And so I inadvertently got mine a little bit early. And it's my American phone, so it shouldn't be ringing. I periodically get spam calls still that I just don't answer them. That way I don't get charged for them. But and if they want to leave a voicemail, I've got Google Voice so that I can pick up the voicemail from, oh, definitely people. Uh, it adds a huge layer of difficulty. Anybody that is in the U.S. and I believe Canada, get a Google Voice set up before you leave. Do not try to do it here. It just adds a layer of complication that just isn't worth it. Google Voice is a great setup because you can get texts, you can get phone calls, and you can make Wi-Fi calls for absolutely free. And as long as you've got decent internet and even mediocre internet, they're good quality calls. And you get a legitimate U.S. phone number. And so here's my plug to Google Voice. Definitely get it and set it up before you leave, though, because part of the verification process you need to do through a firewall, and I think you do need a U.S. phone number to forward stuff to, even when you're setting it up. And so for a few reasons, we left our U.S. cell phones, and we've just got too much tied up back there to turn them off. So for the immediate future, that we're going to leave the cell phones active. But Google Voice is a huge benefit here. You can make, the matter of fact, I typically use my cell phone and will make the phone calls. Yeah, they did leave a voicemail, so I'll check that one out a little bit. See what that's all about. It's probably a spam call because I don't recognize the number and it's from Texas. You can't do Google Voice from Canada? That one's kind of surprising to me that and that's a little too bad. You might want to check and see if there's something similar to the Google Voice. The biggest help for me is it gives texts. You can send and receive texts on that as well. And because of that, if like our credit card, there's a lot of times that they'll send me a text to verify something. If you go to make a charge or whatever, they'll send a text to the number on record, and I'll respond to it or get the code off of it and enter it. Not a problem. And a few expats over here, Philippine Dreams, that he just went through that. Google Hangouts used to do the same thing. That I guess they merged Google Voice into Hangouts and then separated Hangouts and Google Voice again. And he came in while they were joined and had never set up a Google Voice account and ran into some issues trying to get a Google Voice account set up. Magic Jack is great. There's a subscription to that, though. And the other thing, too, is like I was just saying, that if you want to use it as a number of record, that you can't send or receive texts on it. So for like a lot of two-step verification stuff, because they text you for it, that it adds a layer of challenge there. Uh, there are other apps, and again, I don't know if because you're in you're from Canada, if you could use an American phone number for it would get too confusing to do something like that because it kind of defeat the purpose anyhow because it already be an international thing anyway. Uh, this is the other end of that double-edged sword about tech that it can sometimes make things way more complicated than they need to be. Like I say, tech is awesome. It can do some pretty amazing things, but it can add complications like you wouldn't believe. The old saying about to err is human. To truly screw things up, you need to involve a computer, and that is way too true. And like I say, that they can just add such a huge layer of complication and problems that they can sometimes quickly become not worth it. It just isn't worth it anymore to do that. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Yeah, I'll go there. This is part of the way my head runs. That I noticed when we were in the condo, this thing is what I was using to plug the studio mic that we had set up into it. And for some reason, this is defaulting back to looking for the mic in that now. Because it's still plugged in, it thinks there's a mic on there, and there isn't. But anyways, I was thinking about adding my Rode Wireless, my Rode Go, and plugging it into that and then just clipping it on because I actually wanted a cup of coffee. Didn't want to walk over there knowing that you guys wouldn't be able to hear it. But so, yeah, my head runs that way. I'm sorry. $100 a year for five, or $100 for 5 years is not bad. How do you send and receive texts? I'm assuming you'd have to do that from the computer, or do they have an app for that? Well, and that would be my other question too, is do they have an app for that you could use Magic Jack through your cell phone somehow? Because that would make it way convenient. That would actually rival Google Voice, other than the fact that it's $100 and for 5 years, that's not bad. That's $20 a year. There's a crap load of things I subscribe to that are way more than that per month. $20, not the $100 per month. Yeah, the Adobe account that I've got, and granted, I signed up for the super plan or whatever that comes with all the apps or all the apps, programs, whatever. But that's like $60 a month, and for me, it's worth it because I do use Lightroom and Photoshop a lot, and I use Premiere Pro, the Premiere Pro to do the video editing, and then I'm learning a little bit more about Adobe Audition because of Premiere Pro. That you can do a lot better editing of the audio in Audition than you can Premiere Pro, although you can do a lot of relatively in-depth editing to audio and Premiere Pro. And so that's actually what I do on a lot of my days that I'm not doing things. You made a quick squirrel for me. Well, I'll be danged. So Magic Jack is more like a cell number now than it is a wall or corded phone, house phone, home phone, wall phone. I don't know what you call those anymore. More than an old style phone. That might be a good one to do for a lot of the foreigners now. A lot of the expats, and again, the advantage to that, and I don't know Magic Jack specifically. I don't know much about it, but I believe that the advantage would be the same as Google Voice. It goes with you no matter where you are. So whether you went from here to Thailand to Europe to wherever, it would go with you. So yeah, that actually might be well worth the $100 for 5 years. So yeah, that may not be too bad. That may not be too bad at all. And that's way less expensive than the cell phone plans that we're doing. Yeah, our cell phone plans are more than that per month. I'll have to talk with Cindy about that. We may have to look at changing. Because if that is the case, that would be there would be very little reason for us to keep the cell phone, but I wouldn't say there would be no reason. One huge advantage that we've got, and this may do away with some of it, is that we can text back and forth to the U.S. quickly and easily with this, and we do that a lot. And the other advantage we've got is the T-Mobile plan we're on is their older international plan that we were grandfathered in on. That we get it dialed back to 2G, I think, but we get unlimited data roaming in the Philippines. We get unlimited data roaming in a lot of countries, but we get unlimited data roaming in the Philippines. So, there's even down in Sabuna, downtown Sabuna, where I've got a little bit better signal. That there's a lot of times, and I did one a few years back that was actually live streamed on the data plan from my American cell phone, and it did passably okay. There was a lot of buffering, but it was passably okay. T-Mobile has an amazing international plan, and it depending on where you're from, at least in the U.S. and I believe North America, you can get it to where you can get this international plan set up, and there's a huge list of countries you can go to. We went to Mexico several times, and as soon as we got close to the border, we got a text letting us know that we were switching over to Mexico's service plan, and that there was no charge, and it gave us it gave us all the information about it. There was no charge for it. You could still text and data and all that good stuff. That to make a voice call, that there's a charge, but you can make the voice call, and it's significantly less than if you didn't have that international plan. But this Magic Jack sounds like it might, other than the data roaming, might cover a lot of that gap. And right now, for what data roaming we need, it will be great. Yeah, you'll definitely have to let me know how that's working out. I'd kind of like I've seen some YouTube reviews for it, but I've got questions and I've asked questions and didn't get straight answers, and it's kind of like anything else on YouTube. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in what your experiences with it are, and we may have to sit down or virtually sit down or for real sit down and have a discussion on the pros cons to it. Magic Jack's been around forever, and it was one of the first, if not the first, I think, that actually way back in the day, when the internet was just starting to be able to do this, that you could make long distance phone calls for free over it. And it was kind of the beginning of the downfall for Bell System and these long distance services. I got a text in my Philippines phone. Oh, Landers. That yeah, I haven't had an actual main phone, hard phone, elsewhere phone, whatever, home phone. Probably 8 years, 10 years. Well, since 2012. Yeah, since 2012, I haven't had my cell phone's been my main phone, been my primary phone. And there's a lot of people getting like that. That the phones just aren't worth it anymore. Although part of the fiber internet plan, we got a phone, a regular landline. There we go. Landline is what I was looking for. We got a regular landline, and when the tech went to set it up, and I said, "Hey, could you, here's my number. Can you call it? And that way I'll have the number locked in." And he said, "You can't call cell phones with it. You can only call landlines with it." And so, yeah, it's basically going to wind up being a wall decoration or a table decoration. And yeah, it's kind of funny. We actually tried to call customer service on the landline, and wound up having to do it from Glow specifically on our Philippines phone. So, or Smart specifically, because my Philippine phone is set up for dual SIM, but I've got a Smart Globe set up because doing the live streams that I will periodically swap back and forth. One may have a little bit better data, a little bit better signal in an area. So far, Smart has been the much better for data provider. And that's just here in Cebu. I don't know about in Sabunga or other areas. Globe seem to work a little bit better in Sabunga. But we tried the 171 or whatever it is for PLDT helpline customer service line. Cindy tried it on her phone, which is Globe only, and it didn't work. And so we weren't sure what was going on. And then she came across somewhere that to try it on the smartphone and smart service. And so I flopped it over to the SIM 2 and dialed it, and yeah, sure enough, it did work. So I just gave her the phone and let her talk and deal with it. But I've actually been rambling on for a good 15, 20 minutes, and it is getting long, and I'm starting to really lose focus and be a little too broad on topics and running down way too many rabbit trails here. But yeah, Daniel, definitely keep me updated on how the Magic Jack goes. Which Filipino info channel are you talking about? Is it a YouTube channel? Is it internet, Facebook, or TV? We're probably upgrading our PLDT. Because the house is concrete, and I'm assuming the floors are probably reinforced concrete. I'm hoping they're reinforced concrete. Cell service cell service. Wi-Fi about the top of the stairs dies. That you can get tiny bits of Wi-Fi up there, but it's not great. And so I'm looking at doing a mesh system. And if I can get it through PLDT, I'll get it through PLDT because it's less expensive that way. And then just run a Cat5 cable over to the top of the stairwell and put a mesh disc there and run a power cord wherever I needed to plug it in. And just deal with it that way. Globe seems to be the much more common cell service, and that's why both her and I got Globe cell phones to start with. Smart seems to have a little bit better data setup. Rarely do I use the Smart for phone calls or anything other than data. Although I guess there is I'm still sorting out all the Philippines cell phone issues. But I guess if you're a Smart subscriber you can text back and forth for free. If you're a Smart and Globe subscriber, it costs you it costs you minutes to text back and forth. So I'm not fully understanding the intricacies of all that stuff yet. No, I will have to go check. I will have to go do a search for it, or if you can send me a link to the channel, and I will definitely go check that one out. I try to keep up with any of the Philippine info type that give decent info. Some of them that I've seen either give older info or out of date info or sadly flat out incorrect information. And so there's some that I'll watch for a little bit and realize that it's not quite right or something isn't quite right about it, and I'll back off and go someplace else. But yeah, if you could let me know on that one as well. But I am gonna let you people get going. I will definitely have to check that one out. That one could be a very good thing. And like I say, that I definitely look for all those type of things. But everyone, it's been awesome, and I really do appreciate you guys, especially the guys that have hung out this long with it and listened to me prattle on for so long. But I will respect your time and just say mabuhay.